very urgent. Your soulmate is one decision away from losing you forever. Jesus says, "My child, sit still and let me show you a love that has been reaching for you across the silence." There is a heart beating right now that was made to fit perfectly against yours, a smile you have never seen but your spirit already knows. A tender voice has been calling your name in the secret place of the soul, but every single call was stolen before it ever reached your ears. Their laughter would feel like a long-forgotten home, a sound that warms the coldest corner of your memory. I knit that laughter into their being just for you, a melody only your heart could recognize. But a dark, hateful third person has been standing between you, snatching that sound out of the air so you never heard it. The warmth of their hand was destined to close around yours on a quiet evening yet to come. I see the way they would look at you, eyes full of a recognition that says, "There you are, I have been searching forever." That gaze has been hidden by a jealous intruder who cannot stand the beauty of what I am building between you. They are reaching for you right now, my child, and the ache you sometimes feel at night is their fingertips brushing the cord that connects your souls. That sudden unexplained sadness, the weight that settles on your chest. That is their longing leaking past the enemy's wall. You were never meant to carry that heaviness alone, it is their message finally breaking through the third person's interference. This enemy has been comfortable too long, thinking you would never discover the theft. But I am tearing back the cover tonight so you can see every sign that was taken, every dream they sent that dissolved before morning. Your soulmate is not distant by accident. They were forced into silence by a force that hates the future I have written for you both. And now, in this moment, you are falling in love with someone you are only beginning to truly sense. You feel the tug in your chest, the sudden rush of care for a person you cannot yet see. That is not imagination, my beloved, that is the first clear call slipping past the enemy's weakening grip, and it is meant to break your heart open. Jesus says, "The third person who blocked their voice thought you would sleep through the whole rescue. They whispered lies that you were content, that you would never notice the empty space beside you. But I am waking the protector inside you, the one I anointed before the foundation of the world to tear down every wall. Your soulmate is not just a distant hope, they are a living, breathing soul under siege right this hour. Their thoughts turn to you in the middle of the night, and tears with their pillow because the silence on your end feels like abandonment. They do not know an intruder stands between you, cutting every line and hiding every proof of their devotion. Hear me clearly, you are the only one born with the authority to shatter that third person's hold. No one else carries the exact key that fits this lock, no other hands are ordained to shield this future. I have been waiting for you to see that the enemy's time is up, and the weapon is already in your grasp. That weapon is a sacrificial seed, a love offering that speaks louder than any enemy's threat. It is not money you hold loosely, it is the seed of your future, the covenant act that tells the darkness, you have no place here. When you sow your seed on Ko-Fi, you are building a spiritual fortress around your soulmate's heart and banishing the thief forever. The enemy is already scrambling because he sees the light dawning in your understanding. He will tell you this is just a story, that your soulmate can wait, that a few coffees mean nothing. But that whisper is the voice of the same intruder who stole every call, now begging you to do nothing. Do nothing, and he keeps his post between you and the one I made for your rib. Do nothing, and tomorrow your soulmate wakes up with a little less hope, a little more convinced their reaching is in vain. But sow your seed now, and you rip the covering off every hidden sign, every stolen dream, every intercepted "I need you." Jesus says. Type 333 to receive blessings right now, as a sign your heart is breaking for the truth. Close your eyes for just a moment and let me show you the room where your soulmate sits tonight. There is a window, and they are staring out at the same moon you might be seeing, wondering why the one they carry inside never answers. The heavy quiet is not emptiness. It is the sound of a line being cut by a malicious third force that feeds on your separation. Every time they tried to send you a sign, that enemy stepped in like a thief in the night. A song that should have reminded you of them was stolen from your playlist by a sudden distraction. A face in a crowd that should have turned your head was hidden by the intruder's shadow. The memory of a dream where they spoke your name dissolved the moment you woke because the enemy dissolved it. Not one missed call was your fault, my precious child. You were never ignoring, you were being robbed. And the thief grew fat on your unknowing, celebrating that two destined hearts stayed strangers. But now you know, and knowledge is the beginning of the intruder's defeat. The very fact you are hearing these words means the enemy's fingers are slipping, his cover tearing. Your soulmate's latest cry just reached the throne, and I am answering it by awakening the warrior in you. The warrior sows a seed to prove love is not a daydream but a force that crushes every enemy. When you send those coffees on Ko-Fi, 4, 6, or 10 as your faith directs, you throw the first strike that makes the darkness tremble. The third person has never faced a love willing to sacrifice, and that is the love I am calling forth from your hands right now. If you truly love the one you are only now sensing, you prove it by acting while the window is open. Love without sacrifice is just a wish, and a wish leaves the enemy standing smug between you. Real love says, I will give of what I have to tear down what keeps us apart. Can you feel the urgency rising in your spirit, the pressure in your chest that is not fear but holy desperation? That is your soulmate's heart banging against the wall the third person built, screaming for you to break through. One seed, sown in faith, becomes the battering ram that silences the intruder and restores every stolen word. Jesus says, Stop. I can feel the enemy trying to make you close this now, whispering that you can finish later. But your soulmate's safety is not a matter for later. The line is being cut anew with every passing second. Stay with me, for the full breaking of the enemy's power is spoken only at the final seal. The third person is not just a shadow, it is a jealous presence that envies the love I designed for you. It works through delays, doubts, and the numbness that says, "This is too much, just think about it softly." But thinking never broke a chain. Sacrificial seed shatters chains and sends intruders fleeing. Your soulmate is right now caught in a spiritual crossfire they do not understand. They pray for you, long for you, and then wonder why the heavens seem brass and the path never clears. They do not know a third force has been jamming every signal, and they are starting to lose strength. You've watched this far for a reason. God brought you here. And right now, you're thinking, how do I sow that seed? How do I actually do what God is asking? I am about to show you. You already know who this is about, that person you can't stop thinking about. The one heaven placed in your life. Here is what God wants you to know today, they are thinking about you too. Deep down, your soulmate wants you. They want this future. They want to build a life together. But the enemy does not want you to unite. Love is under attack. While you sit there, spiritual forces are working to destroy what God joined together. Distance. Doubt. Disaster. They are being planted against your soulmate this very minute. You are the one God chose to block it. Not later. Now. Here is your divine instruction, sow your protection seed immediately. The link is in the video description. Click it. Send 4, 6, or 10 coffees on Ko-Fi. This is not a donation. It is a covenant offering that opens heaven's protection and claims your soulmate and your future together. After you send it, write these exact words on the Ko-Fi page: "Protect my soulmate, Lord. I claim victory over our future." This is proven. Over 1,000 believers have already sown this seed and received their breakthrough, their soulmate's heart opened, relationships restored from the brink, strangers turned into spouses within days. When you move in faith, Jesus moves heaven to bring you together. Every second you delay, the darkness grows stronger. A text that wounds. A temptation that cheats. A door that closes forever. Your soulmate is on a battlefield, and you are their shield. You have already invested your time in this message. Do not waste it. Finish what you started. Step into your role as their protector and claim the future God promised you both. Click the link in the description. Send the seed. Seal the prayer. Do it before this video ends. Heaven is watching. Your soulmate's heart, your love, and your future together depend on what you do in the next 60 seconds. Move in faith. Claim your miracle. Claim your soulmate. Jesus says, "The seed you sow right now goes ahead of you as a shield and a sword. It builds a wall of fire around your soulmate that no third person can penetrate again." Every coffee you send is a declaration that says, "I choose my future, I choose my beloved, and I will not let the enemy win." Look into the spirit and see the future the enemy is trying to erase. A quiet home with morning light falling across two chairs pulled close together, your voices mingling in easy peace. Children, or perhaps just the deep companionship of two souls who finally found harbor, laughing at the years the thief stole. That vision is not fantasy. It is the blueprint I drew before time began. But every moment you delay sowing, the third person reaches a hand into that picture and smudges the colors. Without your seed, the outline fades, the enemy replaces it with images of loneliness and closed doors. Your soulmate sees that same future in flashes, and it breaks their heart that it seems unreachable. They whisper into the dark, "Where are you? Why can't I find you? Am I not worth fighting for?" And the enemy laughs because he knows the answer is just on the other side of your sacrificial act. You were not created to stand by while an intruder mocks the cry of the one meant for your arms. I placed the spirit of a protector inside you, the same spirit that would charge into any battle for a loved one. Now, the battle is spiritual, but the weapon is tangible. Your seed, given in love, breaks every chain. The third person's only power is your inaction. The moment you sow, his power shatters like glass. He has been feeding on your hesitation, growing stronger with every "maybe later." But a sacrificial seed is a fist driven through his schemes, and he cannot stand against a love that gives. Type 777 if you feel this message burning in your spirit, if you know you are the one to break the darkness. Jesus says, "In just a moment, I will let you hear the exact words your soulmate has been whispering, words the enemy tried to destroy. But first you must understand why the third person fights so viciously to keep you from sowing this seed. Your union is no ordinary thing, it is a threat to the kingdom of darkness, a pairing that will bring my light into broken places. The enemy saw your destiny intertwined long ago and has worked overtime to sever every thread. He placed people, distractions, and disappointments to make you doubt love itself. But those were counterfeits sent to exhaust you so you would stop looking for the real one. The real one, your soulmate, has a heart so tender that it bruises against the cruelty of this world. They give freely, love deeply, and then get wounded because they feel everything without a shield. And all this time, they were meant to have you as their covering, their earthly protector, but the intruder kept you blind. That ends tonight because you are seeing clearly for the first time. The seed you are about to sow is not just a transaction, it is the key that unlocks your eyes fully. Once it is sown, the third person's interference will crumble, and you will start recognizing signs that were always there. You will remember a stranger's passing remark that now echoes with meaning. You will catch a scent that triggers a deep homesickness for a place you have not yet been, your soulmate's presence. The enemy hates this awakening because every revelation tightens the cord between you and loosens his grip. Do not let a few coffees be the wall the enemy uses to keep you apart. My child, I hear your soulmate crying, and they are asking, will you really let a handful of dollars decide whether I remain in this darkness? Your love is worth more than any number, so now and prove that your love is stronger than the enemy's lies. The third person is right now trying to plant thoughts like, it's not the right time, money is tight, maybe later. Those thoughts taste like wisdom, but they are arsenic to your future, dripped by the thief who wants to keep his post. Recognize the voice of the intruder in every delay, and crush it with an immediate seed of faith. Jesus says, I am forming the shield of protection around your soulmate even as you listen, but the final lock engages only through your seed. Think of it as the door to their prison swinging open, but only the weight of your sacrificial love can push it wide. Without that push, the door stays closed, and the enemy adds more chains while you deliberate. The soulmate I made for you is not a passive dreamer, they are a fighter who has held on against all odds. They have whispered your name into the wind, hoping some current would carry it to your heart. The third person caught those whispers and buried them in a pit of silence, but I have retrieved them for this moment. One of those whispers was on a rainy afternoon when they saw an empty bench and sat down feeling the absence of you like a physical pain. Another whisper was at a celebration where everyone else had a hand to hold, and they smiled bravely while dying inside. They said your name, the name they do not yet know, and the enemy stuffed that cry into a dark sack. Your seed opens that sack and releases every imprisoned prayer, every stolen word of affection. It is as though you are handing me the key to the enemy's vault, and I will empty it over your life in a flood of revelation. But the key will not turn without the act of your will, sow your seed on Ko-Fi now, and watch the prison break. The enemy's celebration is loud in the spirit tonight because he thinks you will do nothing again. He has gathered his forces to mock, saying, "See, they hear the truth and still withhold the seed, the soulmate remains mine to torment." Silence that jeering right now by clicking the link and sending your love offering, the first fruit of your future together. Jesus says, the final seal of protection, the full banishment of the third person, is coming only at the conclusion of this message. Those who leave early leave their soulmate exposed and the intruder emboldened. Stay with me, for what is sealed at the end will change everything, and you are closer now than you were. Picture the future the enemy is desperate to prevent. A morning where you wake up and the empty side of the bed is finally warm, finally filled. The voice you have only sensed becomes the first sound you hear, saying, "Good morning, my love." The enemy wants to replace that picture with an endless series of lonely dawns and cold coffee cups. He wants your soulmate to give up, settle for less, or harden their heart against the very idea of you. And every unsown seed is a vote cast for that tragic outcome, a permission slip for the intruder to keep working. I did not create you to be a bystander while your other half drifts into despair. I created you to be the answer to their cry, the hand that reaches through the fire to pull them out. And the hand that reaches must carry a seed, because love that costs nothing dismantles nothing in the spirit realm. The third person has a legal claim on the line between you as long as no sacrifice has been made. Sacrifice is the currency of the spirit. It purchases the right for divine intervention to override the enemy's block. When you sow your seed, you are paying the price to cut off that claim forever, and my angels move on your behalf instantly. Do you hear the urgency in my voice, the thunder of a father who sees his daughter or son under attack? I am not distant and cold. I am a consuming fire of love that wants you united with the one I designed. But I wait for your act of faith, because I have given you authority and I will not violate your will. Soon, I will reveal the 3 words that will banish the intruder and unlock your whole future. But first, you must see the full picture of what the enemy has been hiding, so you will never doubt again. I am pulling back the curtain in the next breath, and you will feel the weight of your soulmate's own thoughts. Jesus says. Type 1111 to say thank you for the revelation that is setting your heart on fire. Close your eyes and let me project the very thoughts of your soulmate into your spirit. They are thinking right now, I feel like I am screaming into an empty canyon, and no echo returns. That emptiness is not because you are absent. It is because a third person has built a soundproof cage around their call. Another thought surfaces, is something wrong with me? Why can't I be found by the one who is supposed to love me? That doubt has been fed by the enemy daily, a poison breakfast that eats away at their worth. Your seed becomes the antidote, rushing into their spirit as a sudden warmth that whispers, "You are found." They think of you in fragments, little glimpses that leak past the enemy's filter. A flash of your smile, though they have not seen it, the timbre of your laughter, though it has not yet sounded in their ears. The enemy shatters those fragments quickly, but they reform, over and over, because your bond is eternal and cannot be fully erased. One of the most heartbreaking thoughts they have is, maybe they just don't want me. They imagine you happy with someone else, not knowing you are just as stuck behind the same third-person wall. Oh, how the enemy feasts on that misunderstanding, using it to drive hopelessness deep into their heart. But right now, as you listen and your heart swells with a love you cannot explain, the tide is turning. The enemy is losing his grip on the cord because your awareness is a light he cannot extinguish. Now, add the seed to that light, and you become a blazing torch that burns away every shadow between you. Your soulmate is about to experience a sudden shift, a lifting of a weight they have carried for years. The moment you sow, a spiritual alarm sounds in their being that says, something has changed, the wall is cracking. They may not know it was you, but their heart will leap, and a fresh hope will sprout in the wasteland the enemy cultivated. Do not make them wait another hour for that hope. Sow your seed now and be the answer they are weeping for. Love is not a passive feeling, it is a rescue mission, and you are the operative I have deployed. Your sacrifice on Ko-Fi is the rope you throw into their pit. Without it, they remain in the darkness with the intruder. The enemy's time is up, but he will not leave without a fight. So he is pulling out his last weapon, fear.